Hey, it's Vic Dorfman, and in this video I'm going to explain how the Airtable reporting works and how you can manipulate the data in your reporting view to make sense of what we're doing for you, how we're using our time, and to better understand basically the value of MemberFix and whether or not it makes sense for you to be a MemberFix subscriber at any given time, because it doesn't always make sense, and I'll get into that in a bit. So when you receive your view, your reporting view, I call this a view, this screen that you're looking at, and it's basically just a filtered view of tasks that we've done for a particular customer. So in your case, you're going to get your unique link, and it's going to be filtered where only the tasks that we did for you are visible, right? And this is one of the things, amazing things that I absolutely love about Airtable, and we use Airtable pretty much in every aspect of our business. It's pretty much replaced Trello, time tracking, a whole bunch of other stuff. I just absolutely love it, and it's free. Anyway, the link will, well, I've already sent these out, but in case for some reason you didn't get the link to your reporting view yet, you can either email me and I'll send it to you directly, or you can log into the MemberFix dashboard, our Fresh Desk dashboard, and go to your profile, and your profile will have a field that contains your URL. And when you click through, it's going to look something like this. Now, this is for Allison Smith, who is not a real customer, but I just wanted to give you sort of an example. And these are real tickets. I've just changed the customer name because I want to give you a realistic idea of what this will look like for you. Now, a few things to mention here. So this is very much like a spreadsheet, but actually it's quite a bit more powerful than a spreadsheet. If you've used Google Sheets or Excel, this is going to look pretty familiar to you. We've got a few basic fields here. We've got the name of the task. This is what we're working on at any given time. We've got the name of the customer. Obviously, this is going to be you. We've got the name of the team member who did this particular time entry. We've got the start time in GMT time. We've got the end time also in GMT time, and the date. Then we've got the total time spent on this particular time entry, and the format is hours, minutes. So if you see 1:03, it's not 103 minutes, it's 1 hour, 3 minutes, just to make that super clear. And finally, the ticket number is the number of the ticket that is in your Fresh Desk. And the very first thing I want to say is that here at the very bottom of this column, you can see that we have the ability to take the values from this column and do something with them. In this case, we can sum or add all of the values together. So if we look at all of the tasks that we've done for Allison, the total amount of time that we've spent on this is 15 hours and 26 minutes, because this is the sum function. There's other functions here like average. For example, what is the average amount of minutes that we've spent per task? Click average. Wait, there we go. 16 minutes. Not a super useful metric, right? Because different tasks take different lengths of time. But just so you know that these are options. Or what is the median task length? 10 minutes. Again, most of these won't apply, so I think sum is probably the most useful calculation in this particular instance. And for the ticket number, well, we don't really need to sum this up, because it's just going to add all the ticket numbers together. What would probably make more sense in this case would be the number of unique items. In other words, the number of tickets we've done or worked on. So if I put it to unique, you can see that we've done 15 and a half hours almost of work for Allison across 21 tickets. Okay, and obviously some of these tickets are going to have taken quite a bit more time than others. Now, this is just a very basic sort of raw, unfiltered data. Now, where Airtable gets really powerful is the ability for you to organize the data in a way that it's going to make sense for you. And let me show you how you can do that. Well, first of all, you'll notice that we have a little menu across the top here. We've got the ability to hide fields, to filter information, to group information, to sort information. This field changes the row height if you want to have a different view. And then you can click here and download this whole thing as a CSV file or even print it. So how does the hide fields thing work? Well, you click on it and you already know, for example, why would you use it? Well, in this case, you already know that the view is yours. You're not looking at another customer's view, so you probably don't need to see the customer column, so you can hide that. Now it's hidden. Maybe you don't really want to see the start time and end time, and you just want to see the total duration that we've spent on each ticket. Cool, we're going to hide the start time, we're going to hide the end time. Now we've got a nice clear table here, and you can see obviously we can expand cells. Okay, it even shows you that the fields are hidden. We can move stuff around to make it more digestible, and we can also do filters. So we've hidden 3 fields, so cool, it looks good. Now let's create some filters. So if we click on filter, the way it works is you can add an unlimited amount of filters using an and or relationship. So for example, let's create a filter where the person who worked on the ticket, so that's the team member, is Vic. Okay, there are all of the tickets that Vic worked on, and you can see that Vic worked for a total of 3 hours and 30 minutes across 3 different tickets. Okay, maybe you want to see the tickets that Kosti worked on, or Konstantin. Okay, now you can see that Konstantin did 5 hours and 12 minutes worth of tickets across 8 different tickets. So now you're getting some ideas about how you can sort of usefully organize the data. Now maybe you want to only look at the last week for Konstantin's ticket. So let's say where the team member contains CO and S, and add another filter, and you can see that here it says and, or it could be or. So if it's and, it has to meet both conditions. Okay, if it's or, then it only has to meet one of the conditions. So let's just say and the start time is going to be, let's see, today is the 29th, so 7 days back would be the 22nd. So we're going to say it is on or after the exact date of the 22nd of March, and the end time is on or before today, which is the 29th, so that gives us about 7 days. And you can see that this is what has been done in that time. Okay, so you can see, I hope, how powerful this filtering system is. You can pretty much create any combination of filters that you want. And then clearing them is just as simple. So you just basically click on the X, no more filters. Now another way to organize the data in a useful way for you is using the groupings. Okay, and one way you could do this is you could say, let's group all of these tickets according to the team member who performed the task. Okay, and then it'll ask you to organize it either from A to Z or Z to A. So let's say A to Z. It doesn't really matter in this case, right? So now you can see that Konstantin, it's sort of a table within a table, right? And we scroll down and we've got Christian, all the tickets that Christian worked on. We've got Leslie, all the tickets that Leslie worked on. And we've got Vic, all the tickets that, pardon me, that I worked on. So we've created this grouping to give you a sort of easier way to interpret the data and know who's doing what, who did what when, how much time they spent on it, etc. You can even create sort of layered groupings. So for example, let's say you wanted to also know the ticket number and group according to ticket number, And let's go from 9 to 1 because that'll give us the reverse chronological sorting. So now you can see that we've got Constantine. The last ticket he worked on was 2070. Then before that he worked on ticket 2008, which took an hour and 40 minutes to close it out. Then we had 2007 for a total of 32 minutes, and so on and so forth for Constantine. Now coming down to Christian, you can see that Christian worked on ticket 1994, and before that 1924, and before that 1905, and so on and so forth. Okay, and just as with the filters, you can just click to X those out. You can unhide the fields, and you're back to your raw, oops, actually hid them all. There we go. And now you're back to your raw view, where you can, again, manipulate the data in absolutely any way you want. With the examples that I just showed are probably the most useful that I can think of anyway. I'm sure you can think of more useful groupings and filters, but in this case, I just wanted to give you some real examples of how you might actually manipulate this data. And you can access your view at any time and get a real-time idea of everything that we've been doing for you recently, everything we've done for you historically, and anything that may be in progress will also go here. Finally, I want to end this video by sort of giving you a little bit of background on why we implemented this reporting, and also ask for your feedback, because obviously this is a version 1.0. We're not really sending out a proper report saying, hey, you know, we worked on X amount of tickets this week and the total time was Y, and we had Christian and Vic and Constantine. We're not sending that out yet, although that's sort of going to be the plan, because obviously I don't want you to have to sort of open this up all the time and have that extra friction. It would be better just to get an email, you know, once a week or every couple of weeks saying, hey, this is what we did for you, here's the breakdown, cool. And we're getting to that. But for now, just as a version 1.0 and to get some feedback, this is what we've put together. And the reason I did this, or a couple reasons, is because, number one, our customers sort of kept telling me that, hey Vic, you know, how are you spending your time for us? How is your team using their time and effort in service of us, meaning the customer? Because obviously you want to know, is it a good value? Am I getting my money's worth? And of course you absolutely have a right to know that. And I didn't have a solution for that for an embarrassingly long time. And now we obviously have this solution, and I think it creates two things. It creates transparency, because you can see, like, hey, maybe you guys are doing a ton of tickets for me, and it's a really good value because I'm really busy and I don't want to deal with this tech stuff, and you guys are taking care of it, and it's a good value. Or maybe it's a downtime in your business, or you just don't really have a lot of stuff to send through, and it doesn't make sense to be on the particular MemberFix plan you're on, or maybe to be a customer at all, because our policy is come and go as you please. So if MemberFix doesn't make sense for you in a given month, you can cancel your subscription, and then when business picks up, or when you have a list of tasks that you want to delegate to us, you just sign right back up. And so that's one of the reasons why I got the reporting happening. And the other reason is because it creates accountability for us, because there's no more sort of unintentional secrecy. There was never any secrecy, but there's no unintentional obfuscation or opacity around how we're spending our time for all of our customers, which helps our team, because we can see if we're inadvertently diverting too much resources unfairly away from one customer in favor of another, which we've pretty much solved that problem as well with our time tracking, which there's a video on that on my YouTube as well you can check out. But it basically puts all of the information out into the open for the customers and for everybody on the team, so that we just see what's going on, right? The data doesn't lie. You can see, looking at this screen, that Constantine did a bunch of freaking work, right? So cool. So he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And if we say, all right, start time is on or after, and the exact date, let's say the 22nd. So we could see in the last week that, here we go, that Constantine did over 3 hours of work for Allison. Well, cool. So, if you're a customer and you're thinking, all right, if I was paying a developer $50 an hour to do this stuff for me, then I just got a little bit over $150 worth of work done just this week alone. And I'm paying either $397 or $597 or $797, in addition to the fact that you have access to the entire range of skills that our team provides, including Divi design, graphic design, small development stuff, membership site stuff. There's a consulting component to what we do. Obviously, a lot of people ask me and our team members sort of pointed questions that help inform your decisions. So it really just helps you make a good business decision about whether or not MemberFix is right for you, and it helps us step up our game. So transparency and accountability, those are two values that I'm putting front and center, and this is the preliminary result. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any feedback. I'm very keen to hear what you think of this reporting system. If there's something that it doesn't have that you think it should have, or if it has more than it ought to have, or anything around this topic at all, please feel free to voice your opinion, and I'm very happy to hear it. Okay, talk soon. Bye-bye.